If you have an upcoming trip and want to document and turn it into a movie, this video may help you. We're going to Korea.
And there's gotta be a reason that you're speaking to me.
I recently went back to my hometown, Seoul, South Korea, and had this idea to make a cinematic travel vlog to document my time there. This was my third time visiting Korea since starting YouTube, but I think I finally understand what it takes to make a more movie-like video. During my first 2 visits as a new content creator just starting out, I didn't know what to shoot and how to document my time. So I ended up with hours of footage, with a lot of it not being super useful. If you ever experience something similar and want to be better prepared for the upcoming trip, I hope this video can help you along the way. Chances are, if you clicked on this video, you already have in mind the kind of cinematic look you're going for to turn your travel vlog into a movie. So we'll definitely talk about that. But before we start, we need to define what this movie look really means. There's no singular cinematic look that makes your vlog look like a movie. There are plenty of high-budget films that feel raw and natural. So in my mind, it comes down to intentionality. Things like emotional pacing, color, and visual consistency. After all, movies are made with stories, and how it looks and feels should be consistent with the story. With that said, in this video, we'll focus on the visual and technical aspect of a polished cinematic look and feel, such as your camera settings, color, getting the right shots that's easy to follow even if you're a complete beginner. During my trip in Seoul, I wanted to create visual poetry using film as a medium, and so I decided to go for slower-paced, steady shots. We'll talk more on getting your shots in a little bit, but all in all, a movie goes beyond documentation. It's about creating the right emotions, the intended looks, and visual consistency by way of controlling the shots, storytelling, and editing that push a narrative forward. It's about the story, introspection, your POV, more than stating facts and sharing your daily routine in chronological order. Now that we've covered that, let's talk about some of the technical aspects and what I did differently this time that made my videos feel like a movie. When it comes to actually capturing beautiful shots, the real secret is in your settings. The main thing I learned during this trip is that your camera does not matter. It's not your camera that makes your video cinematic. It's things like composition, lighting, shot types, and camera movement that make it cinematic. And having the right camera setting ensures that when you press that record button, the final output gives you full control to create the right look. I used both my iPhone and my Sony mirrorless camera during this trip. I went to a lot of art exhibits in Korea this time, and many museums and galleries in the city were very clear about not allowing cameras in. That meant I had to rely on my iPhone camera. By contrast, when I spent the first few days in Jeju Island, I took my Sony mirrorless camera everywhere along with my ND filters. And both my phone and my camera captured beautiful videos that I'm really happy about. So before you start filming, you need to make sure you have the right cinematic settings for your camera. This applies to both your phone and your camera, and that is to shoot 24 frames per second with double the shutter speed. This is commonly known as the 180 degrees rule, and it most closely captures the natural motion blur that helps create this cinematic look we're going for. I also like to shoot in log. Log footage just means it captures a wider range of color information, so you have more control over the dynamic range of your color when color grading. If you want me to do an intro to color grading video, let me know in the comments below. Anyways, any iPhone camera 15 and later should be able to shoot in Apple log, and Sony cameras in S log, Canons in C log, and so on. For your cameras, it's pretty straightforward. I have my Sony camera set up with 2 saved settings. One with 24 FPS with 1/50 shutter speed, and another with 60 FPS with 1/120 shutter speed for slow motion. For your iPhone, you'd want to download Blackmagic Cam app. This app makes it so much easier to control your camera settings. As you can see here, on top of the screen, you can determine the lens type, FPS, and shutter speed. Between you and me, I actually forgot to change my shutter speed on my phone during my trip. And thankfully, it didn't really matter too much since I captured mostly steady shots, but ideally, you'd want to use the correct settings for the most optimized result. Now, we're moving on to getting your shots. This involves a little bit of planning. For my cinematic vlog, I made a decision to mostly do voiceovers. I got a few shots of me talking to the camera in a traditional vlogging style with the wide lens, but most of my shots were handheld, steady shots to capture the location and the scenes. I think it's important to remember to get a wide variety of shot types as well. Wide establishing shots, medium shots, close-ups, and POV shots. It would be nice to get one of each for every scene in your vlog just to make sure you have the flexibility while editing. I didn't follow this to a T, but throughout my time here, I kept reminding myself to at least get a few of each shot types for every new location or story. I also planned on stabilizing my shots in post-production, meaning I shot everything without a tripod, and whenever there's a movement in a scene, I try to zoom out slightly because when you use stabilization in your editing software, it tends to crop into your image a bit. Getting your shots is one thing, but what to shoot and how to tell a story is just as important. My first few trips, and actually the majority of my early videos, had no pre-planning stage. I just went about my day, filmed as much as I could, and sat through hours of footage to figure out a story. It was gruesome, okay? I do not wish that on anybody. When you travel, it's hard to predict exactly what your days are going to look like, regardless of whether you're a planner or not. I'm not. Trains might get delayed, or you might take the wrong exit. I mean, unexpected things happen all the time. So when it comes to planning your travel vlog, I'm not talking about scripting and getting every minute of your video planned out. That's impossible to do. But it's helpful to have at least the title and a general topic of your next video. I'd even pick out a few reference images and videos to help guide my shots. This also helps determine things like whether you're going to talk to the camera while traveling or use voiceover later. Do you need to bring a tripod or stick with a lightweight mobile gimbal? If your travel's focused mainly on the food you eat, then you probably don't want to include anything that's irrelevant. If you're in the arts niche and want to show the museums and the galleries you visit, you probably don't need to show yourself shopping as much. For this trip, I wanted the video to be about cinematic shots as you're watching now. So that's exactly what I try to do. Think about what you want to say through your videos before you even hop on that plane. It'll make your life so much easier once you get there. When you're first starting out, shooting as much as you can is actually quite helpful because it teaches you a lot about filming and composition. It's also better to have too much than too little to work with. But just remember that at the end of the day, you have to sit through the hours of footage just to watch and find the exact shots you need. And if you're working with a tight schedule to film and post your videos, you should take that into consideration. Now that you have your footage shot in the correct settings, have multiple shot types, and have put together the scenes for your film, you want to create a consistent visual look, and that's where color grading comes in. Color grading is so interesting to me. I'm an artist at heart, and color is something I think about constantly. Color on screen behaves so differently from color on paper, and that fascinates me. I've been teaching myself how to color grade, and recently had someone from Dehancer reach out to me. Dehancer is a film emulation plugin that's compatible with any major editing software. This is not a sponsored video, but they did offer a free trial for me to try it out and give them an honest review. The entire video you're watching was color graded with Dehancer. For beginner creators, color grading can feel daunting as it did to me, but it's oh so satisfying when you see your video with beautiful colors. And I have to say, I really enjoyed playing with this plugin. I've always wanted to get a film camera, but it felt a little scary and also overwhelming to invest in something big when you're already trying to do so many things at once. With this plugin though, you get a feel for what it'd be like to own a film camera without the cost, and plus your videos look amazing. I had so much fun while editing this video and ended up making a separate demo reel for my friends and family after the trip, and a lot of them were asking me, how did you do that? What did you use to film during your trip? And that tells me that I did something right. I'll post that short in my channel as well, so feel free to check it out. On another note, I think the one downside to this plugin would be that it's probably not the best tool for complete beginners, because you need at least a foundational understanding of color grading to learn to use this tool. But if you're interested in color grading, this would actually get you the most beautiful results without spending hours of your time. I have a dedicated color grading video that I've got planned for beginner content creators, and I'll go over my exact workflow with and without the plugin. Not sure exactly when the video will be up, but if it is, I'll link it down below. If it's not ready, please come back in a few weeks. I want to emphasize that videography is an art form in itself. While there's definitely technical implications when you're filming, I want you to remember that there's no right or wrong answer to go about it. I've been a painter my whole life, and I always tell my friends that there's no such thing as bad art or talented artists. It all comes down to just making things, creative expression through the medium of your choice. I found that when it comes to filming and videography, I tend to have a more rigid expectations of what is right. I think it's probably more common when people are just starting out as well. I have way more experience with painting than filming. And just like art, film is just a medium for your self-expression. This is more of a reminder to myself that it is so important to enjoy the process and have fun while doing it. Chasing perfection killed the joy of making art for me for a long time. And I just don't want the same thing to happen again with anyone watching. So if you have some footage you took from your last trip and feel hesitant to make it into your own video, please go ahead and make it. You don't need the perfect shots, nor do you need to have the right gear. This is a pretty well-known experiment now, but a college professor split their students into two groups for a photography class. Group A was graded for turning in a set amount of pictures. Group B was graded with one amazing photo. At the end of the semester, Group A students turned in hundreds of photos they took. Group B students searched for the one photo and submitted their one. You already know how this story ends. Students in Group A had works that were significantly better quality than B. It's because they actually took the photos. So don't let your perfection stop you from making your next video. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. As a small creator, every like and subscriber matters to me. I also have a free resource in my link in the description. I believe in good karma and plan on adding more free resources in the future. So make sure to sign up to get notified. See you in your next video.